It's time.
It's time.
And now, it's time for Herman and Sharron.
I love you.
Hello,
Thank you for
everybody.
joining us. We appreciate it, because without you, there would be no program.
That's right. That's right.
And we have a special guest. She is. I feel like.
Thought you were leaving me there for a minute.
What's the guy? The Spanish guy from Florida. When he reached
Marco
over.
Rubio?
Marco Rubio. When he reached over and got his drink. That's been on YouTube ever since. So
Don't make a mistake on TV if
I
you're
know.
a politician,
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
for sure.
We have Tracey Mitchell with us today. I got a frog, naturally. She's a life coach
Sitting right
and
here
a
on the
leading conference speaker who travels 40-plus weeks a year. She's got a story to tell us, too.
And she's actually married.
Sharing biblical principles
Yeah.
and wisdom. She shares her personal experience of rejection, poverty, emotional abuse. She's also a television host of Today with Tracey.
Wow.
Cute
that's why,
title.
That's why she's so calm.
She was awarded an honorary doctorate in divinity degree in 2006 and
So
was
were you.
presented with the Dallas Exceptional Service Award of 2008 by Women in Christian Media.
Yes.
Great organization, by
And
the way.
if you want a dynamic, speaking, looking person,
Yes.
take a look at this.
And people are always looking for that.
Here she is, right here.
Here she is. Here's Tracey.
You know, your
Hi.
name looks like you.
It does. I've never heard that before, but I like it.
But I mean, you know, some people's names would go, that don't match.
Yeah.
I match
Tracy
She looks like a
matches.
Tracey.
It does.
That's right.
Wow.
Nice book. Did they show the cover on that when I was walking over here? They did. There it is, right there. Downside up.
You got to tell us, though, first, what you had to go through to get here today.
People that want to be on this show have to go through unbelievable things.
Oh, wow. It was interesting. I was scheduled just for a direct flight here to see you all. And
Simple, right?
From
real
Dallas,
simple, you would
right?
think. And I ended up taking a free tour across the United States. And so I ended up in 5 cities in about 9 hours,
Wow.
which was amazing.
You live where?
I live in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas.
I do. We moved there about 2 years ago. Empty nesters, having the time of our lives. So we thought we would do something original and move across the country.
Wow.
Where were you from then before that?
I'm originally from Alabama, just a good
Oh,
little
okay.
southern girl.
Yeah.
Decided we lived in Arkansas for about 17 years, and then just moved to Dallas.
You experienced rejection.
Just a tad.
Now, hey, Dave, that's my director, Dave. I have him doing all kinds
Everybody
of stuff.
knows him now.
I do.
And can you get a close up of Tracey? Just as you know, this camera right over here, or what? Warren can maybe he can do that. There she is. Okay. Now, can you experience or envision that face being rejected?
Wow.
Is this true?
This is very true. You know, my life, I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Suffered a lot of rejection issues. I was born, I know what it's like to have family members who were institutionalized numerous times, mental institutions. I was born as part of what back then they labeled an illegitimate relationship, and I don't think there's illegitimate children, but maybe some illegitimate parents, maybe, or
Yeah.
relationships.
You're right.
I was taken to an orphanage, later retrieved by my blood mother. Know what it's like to live in abject poverty on the backside of the tracks. I know what it's to come into the world really not planned and very much unwanted. So yes, I do have an affinity with rejection.
So you talk about the opposite, though. You say, don't treat rejection as an enemy, but treat it as an invisible bodyguard.
I love that. I do. For years, and we'll talk about that in just a moment if that's okay.
You can do anything you want because it took you so long to get here, and you went through so much. So this is your show.
Well, you know, for years I ran from rejection. I did everything in the world to avoid rejection. And then I hit an apex about 30 years of age, and I had that aha moment when I came face to face with the truth is that you cannot avoid rejection. Everyone encounters rejection.
Sure.
And so I learned that either I can fight this invisible monster called rejection, who is seeking to take my self-worth and my self-esteem, or I could do the opposite and I could embrace rejection as my very best friend.
How do you do that?
She took it right out of my mouth. Good, honey. We're thinking alike.
Right.
But how do you do that?
Well, it's procedural, and that's the reason I took a whole book to write on that very subject. One of the things that you do is you learn that rejection is not about what you lose, but about what you can embrace. And what you said earlier, I used rejection as an invisible bodyguard who would lead me away from dead-end relationships towards life-giving relationships, away from dead-end opportunities towards positive relationships, from wrong people to right people. And I noticed that rejection does that. It is the buffer. It extracts people from our life that perhaps we would never within ourselves have the courage, a relationship to walk away from, or from a job opportunity. So I learned that there's an upside to rejection.
Goodness gracious.
Yes.
So you talk about walking away from people
Yes.
that you need to. In all walks of life, are you talking about?
All walks of life, absolutely. You know, for years, I ran out of relationships because I feared abandonment. And we do that a lot.
Did you go through a lot of boyfriends?
Not too many. I had some serious relationships.
Did any of them?
Oh,
Because they say
of
some
course.
kind of guys can be abusive.
They can, and I've experienced those relationships before. I think it's chapter 7. I talk about mind manipulators, and the 6 things that every great mind manipulator will tell you. And many times, those who suffer from rejection and low self-esteem, we cling to those one-liners. You know, we run to the very people that we should flee because we don't understand our self-worth and who our identity is, most importantly, in Christ.
Wow.
That's right. So how did you come to meet Christ?
Oh, wow. I was about 7 years old. I'm glad you asked that question. I was 7, and a man came and knocked on our little apartment door one day. And I peeked around the corner, anxious to see who this new visitor was in our living room. And I began to eavesdrop, and I heard a conversation that my blood mother was having with this man. And he opened up this little book. And in this book, he began to talk about a man. And this man he talked about that would never leave you or never forsake you, a man who loved you enough to give his life for you. And I remember my 17-year-old mind thinking, there's a man who loves me enough to never leave me. There's a man who loves me enough to literally lay down his life for me. And as I began to hear this story about this man named Jesus, I thought, I have to know this man. If there's ever a man I want to meet, my little 7-year-old mind was like, I have to know him. And so they left us a little Bible. And I began to read that Bible 30 minutes a day, almost every day of my life from the time I could read. And that washing, the Bible talks about the washing of the water of the Word, how it regenerates and restores our mind, and wrong thinking. And truthfully, I found my identity as a small girl reading the truth about who I was in the Word of God. It's amazing.
That's an amazing story.
You say rejection is powerless without your cooperation.
Without our consent.
Wow.
Right. You know, rejection has to be processed. And in other words, rejection has no effect in my life unless I give it authority to. I mean, you can sit here all day and say, Tracey, you're stupid and you're ugly. But unless I receive those words, it has no power. And so one of the greatest things that we can do is to begin to unlock that filtering process of our minds. Is what someone else saying about my life true and accurate? And if so, will I willingly receive those words, or will I spit out that filtering system?
So you have to be trained to reject
rejection.
Those words that are given to you.
It's
know, like
rejecting rejection.
Yes.
That's the way I like to say it. I
Exactly.
reject rejection. And so you have a strong filtering system.
There's something in every individual, because I was just reading recently where, as a parent, you need to affirm your children 10 to 20 times more than you ever come up with, you shouldn't have done so-and-so,
Right.
or that was not good that you did. It's amazing how we only remember, I mean, whether you're speaking or whatever,
Right.
a person going out the door, you could have had 20 people say,
Yes.
Tracey, you were absolutely, you hit a home run every time you said something today.
Right.
And one woman says, you know what, I don't like that outfit you had on. It's not you.
Exactly.
It's gaudy.
Right.
I just thought you needed to know that.
That's
You
what
will
we
get in
remember.
your car and remember that.
Yes. You know, when you said about children, how parents speak to their children, no is one of the smallest words in the human vocabulary, but it's one of the most powerful.
Wow.
2-letter word, N-O. It's one of the first words that children have and first words that children learn growing up. As a matter of fact, they say that in the formative years, children hear the word no more than 400 times a day. That's more than, I think, 735,000 times in their formative years. When you think about it, no, don't touch that. No, don't go in the road. No, don't reach for that. So we have been programmed to hear and expect the word no. So the problem, how that plays into rejection, is that we become very comfortable when someone says no. No, you're not qualified. No, we don't have the funding to give you your loan. No, no. So we become conditioned to expect no, and many times we never reach for God's yes.
Wow. We go in expecting no.
We go in expecting no, and that's exactly what we attract.
Yeah.
Confronting and conquering rejection. So you confront it.
Confront it head on.
Okay. Now,
Can't hide from it.
all right. Now, the example I just gave.
Yes.
How would you confront that? You heard all of these great, super compliments,
Right.
and then you walk out the door, you get in the limousine going back to the airport or whatever, and you hear that comment about your outfit.
Right.
How do you confront that, conquer it?
Well, you know, the first thing I do, honestly, is I pray. I pray, God, is this true? Is this your report? Because I'm at the age now to where I'm not really interested after I speak in what everyone else's opinion is. I go back to my hotel room and I say, God, did I please you today?
Wow.
Did I deliver your word today? And again, it's that filtering system. Okay, my filtering system first is with God. God, did I please you? Did I say what
That is
you
so
wanted
good.
to say to
That
do?
is so good.
And then secondly, you know, I do. I had someone say about the book the other day, a good friend of mine, he said, well, Tracey, it starts out a little slow. Now, I had, you know, 1,000 compliments about this book, and I thought, now, which one do I want to focus? You know, it goes back to focus. Am I going to focus on the negative, or am I going to focus on the 1,000
So you confronted that.
I do. I confront it every day in my mind. Every day. And the more that you learn to use your filtering system, the more that you pray, the more that you learn to confront, the easier the whole process. At first, it's tough. That first 30 days.
I was going to say, I don't know how you do it.
Tough.
I mean,
but years of practicing the same principles.
So you just say,
Pray,
I'm not going to accept
filter,
that?
what do I receive? Yes, 100%.
You know.
You say in your book, get your copy on the screen, get the website, get it, you will love. She has comments starting at every chapter, and when you read that comment starting at that chapter and you start reading the chapter, you go, boy, does that fit? Here's one. Someone in our past has trained us to indulge in self-hatred.
Yes. Yes.
So, family member, even sometimes a friend.
Yes. Yes, in the book I share a story about a young girl, and I think her name was Janice. I'm not sure, I can't remember her name. But in the story, it talks about how her mother, as a young girl, that when anyone would give her a compliment, her mother would step in and counter that compliment. If they said, wow, what an amazing young daughter you have, she says, well, she is most of the time. And so she was trained to always, that there's a negative when somebody gives you a
I think
comment.
I was in on that conversation because I've heard people say that.
I know. Like
very-
earlier, you
yeah.
said I had cute shoes, and I'm like, do you really think these are cute shoes? You know, immediately we have
Yeah,
this system
yeah.
to where.
No, I really do
why
think they're cute shoes.
Thank you. I think they're pretty cute too. we have this mindset that we have trouble receiving compliments.
Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
You know,
about
women are
that.
the world's worst. I mean, if they were
Yes.
giving out a gold medal, in that category, it would go to women.
Yeah.
You know, men are like, I do have cute shoes. I do look sharp today, but women, oh no. We have that, again, that negative predisposition to
I
say
know,
I'm unworthy.
I'm that way too.
I'm
Every time.
unworthy.
Yeah.
And
wow.
he doesn't understand that because I'll kind of counter with some.
Yeah,
If you give me a
I
compliment,
give her
I'll
a
counter
compliment,
with
she'll-
a
I go-
negative.
I go,
And
wow.
he doesn't understand
I
that.
still work on that. I mean, I'm being honest, and that's the reason I wrote about that very thing, because I know what it's like to do that. I know what it's like to emotionally beat yourself up. I mean, and it totally goes back to how we were trained as children.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
So, I mean, do you think you're pretty?
That's a difficult question. There are days, okay, maybe I'll say there are days that, yes, I think I look nice. But I grew up.
Your eyes are the color of the Mediterranean.
Thank you.
Yeah, they are very.
Okay, I
great
received that
blue.
compliment. Thank you.
Get a close-up, Dave, of her eyes.
There you go.
Okay, look right at the camera. There he comes. Look at you. Can't really see their blue.
No,
eye.
you
Can you see
can't.
their? But I mean, they're Mediterranean blue.
Thank you. Again, it goes back to training. You know, what do you believe? And that makes for difficult relationships. I mean, if you're married to someone who struggles to receive compliments, eventually you're going to quit giving them because
Yes.
you know they're going to be deflected.
That's true.
They're rejected.
So
yeah.
we deal with that a lot.
Yeah. You say controlling people are often hurting people. That
Yes.
was a revelation
That
to
is
me.
hard to accept because
Yes.
usually when a person is controlling, you don't think of them in that light?
Well, they're controlling because they are struggling to maintain balance in their life. I know I work with a lot of type A, which I'm pretty much type A.
Yes, you are.
Type A, very much a perfectionist, and many times it's that seek to control that says, you know what, somehow I'm grabbing on a little more tightly, whether that's in a relationship or whether that's how we operate in business, because you want to be perfect. You know, that grouping of control says, you know what, I need to be perfect so I'll be accepted, not rejected.
Okay.
And so many times, again, those who seem to be most controlling are the most wounded, and they're just trying to regain some focus in life, or, you know.
So when your husband puts his arm around you and he says to you, Tracey, I love you, do you in your mind go, does he really?
After 2 decades, no. I know that he loves me. At first, it was challenging to think, why does he love me? I mean, here's this gorgeous, amazing man who has it all together. And
What does he do?
He's an evangelist. He travels. We both travel. Not usually together, but we both travel 40 weeks a year.
So he gets up there in front of people and
Oh, he's
preaches
amazing.
the gospel.
He is so amazing at what he does. Yes, yes.
Wow.
And so, we both had some things to work through when we first got married. But 20 years later, 4 kids later, yeah, I don't doubt his love at all or affirmation. And he's a very confident, bravado type, you know, guy who didn't understand why I faced rejection issues. And
It's beyond his
right, 'cause
comprehension.
A, he's a guy, and B, he was raised very differently than I was.
I found it difficult to receive love because I felt unworthy of being loved.
Yes.
That's you.
Yes, that's 100% me, and probably 85% of your viewers that are watching today.
So when you speak to big groups, you
Yes.
speak to women's
Men
conferences,
and women.
men and women. So you look out over that audience and you're seeing what?
Wow, a plethora of people who are desperate for answers, who are hurting, who are wounded, who've encountered the same level of rejection. And I don't always speak on rejection. You know, I speak a lot to CEOs and businesses, churches.
How do you speak to a CEO? You're talking about Fortune
Business,
500 kind of
yes.
companies. Okay.
Yeah, they face the same rejection issues that we do, but many times they've simply mastered that. They know that every no leads to a yes eventually. And I think the world has a better grasp on rejection many times than those of us who are churchy, maybe, because they know how to confront rejection. A Fortune 500 CEO has encountered more rejection in a lifetime than we could ever imagine.
True.
They've just learned how to pound through that no to reach for that yes. That's what makes them successful.
These reality shows, she always gets a kick out of me,
I
but I
know.
love them. These guys are selling real estate. You know, they're like $1 million
Right.
real estate guys. And I mean, they hit some rejection. It's just like what you said,
Yes.
but it's like they don't interpret that as
Negative.
oh, I did it wrong. They just go, okay, this is another avenue I'm going to take.
Yes.
Whereas most people would go, yeah, I knew I shouldn't have tried it, didn't work.
Yes.
No, it was like, okay, no, you need to go this way. I love that.
They have mastered using rejection as a personal conductor. They know that, you know what, if I keep trying to push through something that's not working, that it will be the wrong thing. So they exactly what you say, and they redirect.
Yeah.
Okay, so this proposal isn't working. You know, I submitted a book proposal, my first book proposal, and they said, you know what, if you would just tweak it, if you would just reroute it, if you would work it from a different angle, it will work. And so I didn't take that as rejection. Oh no, they don't want me, they don't want my book. But I found a way around that. I thought, if this isn't working, what will? So, yeah.
Jealousy is a response to fear,
Yes,
the root of all insecurity.
yes,
Goodness, jealousy.
yes. If you've ever met someone who is absolutely consumed with jealousy or flies into a jealous tirade, I mean, at first I didn't understand the connection between rejection and jealousy. And jealousy is simply a reaction. It is an emotional response to something much deeper, which is rejection. And so what a jealous person does is they're constantly putting up walls, defensive walls, saying, you know what, if they're afraid that they're going to lose what they have.
Yeah.
So they're horribly insecure. They're afraid that someone is going to leave them for someone who might be better, so they fear rejection. Jealousy is a response, a reaction to a much deeper rooted issue, which is rejection.
Isn't it interesting that, you know, jealous people don't realize they're driving you away.
Yes. It's like they have a big target painted on their backside that says, you know what? That's what jealousy does. It's a big target on your back that says, I'm horribly insecure. Flee from me because I'm going to run you insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Goodness gracious. You talk. Things rarely change without confrontation.
Yes.
And some of them like address current actions of bad behavior, carefully lay out the facts, stay focused, keep emotions from escalating, and on and on.
Yes.
So you have a whole section.
Healthy confrontation.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you handle that?
Well, first, don't be afraid of the word confrontation. Many of us think, oh my goodness, this is going to be a group of me and my relatives sitting around in an implosive environment where we're just going to go at each other full guns blazing. And that's not exactly what a healthy confrontation is. Healthy confrontation, you map out, A, what is the objective of this conversation? What is the purposed outcome? What do we do from here after we have a confrontation? And so methodically list out ways to have a healthy confrontation.
And some people in a confrontation want the solution there before they leave.
100%. I would lay out the steps. What are our achievable goals? How do we want this relationship or this situation to be different? I don't believe in having a confrontation where you sit down and rehash, you did this to me, here's what you've done.
And that's where it always goes.
99% of the time. But instead you go into a confrontation, and I would like a better choice of word than confrontation, but to go in and say, look, here's where we have been. And that takes up 5 minutes, and the rest of the time, here's where we're going, and how do we get to X, Y, Z? That's a healthy confrontation.
You talk about codependent relationships.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now, does that fit you?
100%. I was the poster girl for codependency. Yeah, I admit it.
Okay, explain what it is, because some people watching may not get that.
Codependency, can I give you an example on that one?
Absolutely, anything you want to do.
In the book, I talk about a codependent relationship of a mother and daughter who acted more like sisters than mother-daughter. What one bought, the other person bought. What one drove, the other person drove. And they actually lived together. And you said, well, Tracey, don't most families do that? Well, not to the point to where you cannot make decisions without the other person, who you're afraid to leave them alone at home for 15 or 20 minutes, who your life is literally consumed. Because in codependent relationships, here's what happens. There will always be one primary person who sucks the life out of the other individual. And if you're in a codependent relationship,
do they know it?
No, they don't know. They totally, they don't realize it until they absolutely 100% have lost total identity. If your life is being consumed by another person to the point you don't know who you are, what you're destined to do, what you're placed in this earth to do, and if you're not daily working towards those goals, personal goals, of fulfilling your personal assignment in this earth, then you are very much in a codependent relationship.
Goodness.
Yes.
Get the book. It's throughout the book. I mean, really great. Chapter 7, you got to read this one. Truth, Lies, and Fairy Tales.
I love that title, right?
Yeah, I do. Explain that, just kind of a synopsis.
Oh, well, we talk about, you know, how the truth about lies, basically. It's worse to receive a lie than to believe a lie, than to tell a lie. I mean, we go back into the Garden of Eden, and the problem was, now watch this, one woman bought into a lie that she was told that she wasn't godlike enough. I want you to think about that. The lie the enemy told Eve was that she wasn't godlike enough. Because Eve's desire, she said this, she said, you know what, I want to be wise. I want to be as smart as God. I want to know everything that God knows. And the truth was, the enemy sold her a bill of goods that she wasn't godlike enough. And in truth, she was made in the image of God. And so I walk through the 7 things that mind manipulators tell us, and the reasons that we are so susceptible to buying into truth, lies, and fairy tales, and how we can avoid those pitfalls that the enemy would, or a person, or wrong individual would cast our way.
And you have come up with these through experience.
100%, 100%. This book is not information I gleaned off the internet, but it's years of wisdom, revelation from the Holy Spirit, and things I've actually walked out myself.
Manipulation, emotional extortion.
Yes, yes. My manipulators have the power to extract from you information that you would not willingly give yourself. That's what it is. Manipulation is the ability to extract from others what they would normally be unwilling to give. And that's powerful when you think about it.
Yes.
Mind manipulation, when someone can walk into your life and begin to work on you, and you begin to give them information, whether that's in your personal life, emotional life, business dealings, they know how to do it. I use the analogy, they're like an emotional fisherman. They know exactly which lure to use. They know how far to cast the bait. They know exactly how to reel you in, how to get and extract information from you that you would not ordinarily give.
Wow. The rewards of honesty.
Wow. Isn't that powerful?
Wow, that is.
I began to list the reasons of what being honest. And I challenge those watching today to simply commit to 7 days of being completely honest. I mean, even in the little things.
Yeah.
Did I run that red light? Did I, whatever it is, completely. When you walk in and your husband says, well, honey, how much did you spend at the mall today? Wow, do we tweak that figure or what? Being completely, well, I spent about $60.
Yes.
Give or take a few
You
zeros.
should have seen the sale.
Right, you should have seen the sales. So 7 days to be completely honest. And I list the rewards. The Bible talks extensively about the rewards of being honest and how there's so much freedom in being honest. I mean, are we all, as our fallen nature, predisposed to tell a lie? Sure, ask Abraham. Ask the great men and women of the Bible, the patriarchs.
David, yes.
Yeah, are they predisposed to tell a
absolutely.
lie for convenience? 100% yes. So we talk about the rewards of honesty.
That's your camera right there. Share
Yes.
Christ with a young lady or somebody that's been rejected.
Absolutely. Today, I don't know your story. And maybe your story is very different than mine. But I do know one thing, the God of our Bible, the living God, Jesus Christ, He can take whatever circumstance that you're in. Maybe your husband just walked out on you. Maybe you don't know who your parents are. Maybe you're struggling. No one compliments you. You don't have the affirmation that you need. Can I tell you, there is a God who will never leave you, who will never forsake you, that He loved you enough to lay down His life for you, and He has a plan and a purpose today for your life. And if you will just begin to pray, to read the Word, to seek the truth about what He knows to be true about you, He will lead you to the right people. He will lead you to the right church. He will lead you in His Word, and He will tell you about who He has created you to be. So I encourage you today, begin to pray. Say, maybe you don't even know how to pray. Say, Father, today I just yield my life to you, afresh and anew. I want to know who you are. I'm tired of the lies that man has said about who I am. Today I want you to reveal to me who I am in your eyes and the plans and the purposes that you have for me. It's really that simple. And I encourage you today, pray, seek His face, discover who Christ is in your life. Amen? Amen.
Amen.
That's how simple it is. Ask Him. A-S-K. Matthew 7:7. That's all you have to do. Jesus Christ is the answer to every need you may have. Bye-bye.